What is up, party people? We are back with another VOD review. This is again from the Duos Cash Cup on the 4th of July, but this is from the team that placed first. I personally have not heard of either of these players. I don't know who they are, but they had a phenomenal run. We have Mimu dancing and Tiekko dancing. So we're actually going to start watching Tiekko here because he has some elims. This was actually their final game, and I believe it's an 11 kill win. Alright, here we go. They are jumping. They are gliding. It looks like they're landing center map here. Yeah, okay, they're landing lake. It's actually a pretty contested drop, too. I'm curious to see if they just get the hell out of here after... Oh, does he go down? His teammate goes. I don't know what... This is an interesting play here. Wow. Wow. Really well handled. I thought he was going to die there, to be honest. I know that they won this game, but like the odds were definitely not in his favor. He played that really well by baiting the res. I would have probably done the same thing. Okay. They get out using the teleporters, which is a good idea because they were in low ground where, you know, people were all around them. It was a contested drop. They were pretty much just bait at that point if they didn't leave. They don't have a lot of mats. Now this is the final game, so everyone in this game has similar points to them, and they have 150. So this game is probably going to be... They have some kills here, but I'm assuming they're going to be playing a little more passive. Because everyone in the lobby will be. But yeah, they need loot and mats. This partner needs shield. Like I said, I've never heard of these guys, so I'm interested to see how they play out the game. Wow, his partner just got... Wow. Curious, did his partner get sniped? His partner almost went down there, though. Good chip damage. Bad angle. They're both really low here. Really well played again. They're lucky they didn't go down yet again. He has decent loot. Let's see what Mimu's got. I don't like the two-shot shotgun personally. I think it's too inconsistent, and the delay between shots and the delay when you can shoot again is just kind of a clunky mechanic in my opinion. So I don't run that shotgun unless I absolutely have to. But I would run double SMGs over that. Just because that shotgun is too inconsistent for my playstyle and my liking. I don't particularly want to deal with that. 81 people left. It looks like they've pretty much kind of gained control over the center lake here. And they're rotating up. There's only one team rotating out of Shifty, one on the bridge here. There's no one else in this general vicinity except for whoever's in the middle here. Someone was getting chip damage, probably for Storm Surge. Because they're not really following up at all. Someone's... Oh. He has a duo on him. His teammate's kind of far. He's overbuilding. He's overbuilding to protect himself, but I think he burned way too many mats there. He's trying to get to his teammate. There you go. That was a weird interaction. He overbuilt, and then the team just let him be. They didn't bother pushing him. I think they rotated well enough, but they have not a lot of mats now because of the overbuild, and unfortunately, as we saw, the sliding mechanic was great to get away from who was above them, but they got beamed by the people they're looking at right now, which, you know, reduces again their resources. They now have another half pot gone and a ton of mats. They don't have much in the way of materials here. They really need to refarm this building. Once they refarm the building, though, they should be pretty fine. Pretty alright. I'm curious to see where people are closing in from. These guys are still in Storm. Got a brawl going on at Logjam. You got some people in Condo Canyon rotating in. This is going to be... This area over here is dead side. There's only one team here. These guys are rotating off. A bunch of people at the Daily Bugle, which is kind of bad. And they're here at Coney in center. Now, because it's only Storm 1, I wouldn't particularly go center zone here. But I don't know if they really have much of a choice. You know, they kind of they're kind of stuck between a bunch of teams in a weird spot. Thankfully, they get zone, so they don't have to rotate. Like if they stayed over here, they'd have to rotate in. But if unfortunately they weren't able to rotate towards this pink team, because if they were able to rotate like on the river here and get away from, because these teams are all going to converge on them now in this area. This is now going to be the active side, whereas this spot over here, as the storm gets smaller and smaller, this is going to get more compact, but it's not going to be nearly as clustered with teams as over here. So they really need to get mats, and there you go. Now you got some resources, but they kind of need to get all their stuff done now, because as teams start coming in towards zone, they, you know, if they're based up and they're good, they'll be able to get free chip damage. But if they're still looking for resources, these teams are just going to beam them on the way in. Interesting move that he dropped SMG for harpoon gun. I don't know if I necessarily would have done that. The AUG is really good for tags. For Storm Surge, or even just to like initiate a fight. If you get tags with the AUG burst, it's really good. But the SMGs this season and even last season are so overpowered that I don't know if I would drop that for a harpoon. Thank you. I appreciate. He must have been listening to me. The harpoon's good for late game to grab loot, but I just don't think you can beat an SMG this season. You kind of need one. They are refarming this entire building, which is great, because now their mats are good. See, like, they came in here with, like, less than 100 wood, 200 brick, and now they have pretty much max mats, which is great. I hope that was a replay bug and they weren't just sitting in the open farming. But who knows. So you're going to have some teams coming in now. It's going to get a little more congested. People are going center second, which is interesting. Typically, you go center third. But where the zone is, I guess center second kind of makes some sense. You're not going to really need to rotate too far. They're above Storm Surge, so you don't really have to worry about that because of their elims, which is good. There's 77 people left, 39 teams. Like, yeah, see, it's already dropping in the Storm Surge. It's just a matter of time before they need to get more chip damage or fights on people. Or elims on people, rather. So, yeah, they need to farm up their wood. They need to rotate now. It's going closer to Sanctuary, which means everyone from Coney and the Daily Bugle now need to all come into this semicircle. This team, that's a rough interaction right there. They need to rotate in. That team that's in zone is just kind of staring at them. They're not going to be able to have much luck, I don't think. They're using the super sprint to rotate as quick as possible. Thankfully, the area is pretty clear. No one's actually really paying a lot of attention to them, which is good for them. There's a team rotating in front. I'm curious if they just kind of draft them to rotate kind of for free here, or if they, when they get into zone, they start getting chipped. They're in zone. Ooh, they're getting shot at. Thankfully, they were able to restock on shield, because otherwise they'd be in shambles right now. Third zone, 70 people left. Yeah, they're just playing passive now, which makes sense. That's what I anticipated. Getting into late game, I anticipated teams would start playing a lot more passive and methodical, more so than just W keying and taking 50-50s. Nice. Actually, huge. Huge kill. Really, really good kill. Now they're going to be really... Now they're going to be set for Storm Surge. They've reduced the lobby a little bit. If Storm goes that way, they have a bunch of free fresh loot, unless someone grabs it first, which will probably end up happening. You know, just... They were just being opportunistic. That guy made a mistake. They punished him for it. This game is slower than the Commandment Avery VOD review, but like I said, that's anticipated because this is their final game. They don't really want to throw it, obviously. So they're going to be playing a lot more passive rather than just W King like you would in an early game. So I will be... Ooh, zone is kind of far. If they had rotated dead side early, they wouldn't have really had to rotate far at all. Now they're going to have to rotate with a lot of teams, actually. Their Storm Surge is going down. If they stayed dead side early game, they wouldn't have really had to rotate that far, but because of where they were and where they are now, they have to rotate in with a lot of teams. So this is going to get congested, I think. But, like I mentioned, they do end up winning this game. So I'm curious to see how they navigate this without getting caught. Everyone in the lobby's kind of focused more on getting themselves a zone rather than lasering anyone out in the open, because their tarp just then was really shoddy. They had some openings. Someone, you know, if they really were paying attention, someone could have punished them for that. But thankfully the super sprint is good. They're reshuffling materials. Ooh, they might try to get a pick here. Got the elim. Got the knock, I mean. They're now pushing a new duo. They have to rotate. It's first moving. Goes across the river. Again, not dead side, so they're going to be fighting with a lot of teams here. We're going to spectate Mimu now because he gets more kills late game. Ooh, huge! Oh, that guy should not have peeked him like that. Oh, he is rotating, but he is looking for kills here. You can see. He's dropping. There's people in front of him. He might be able to get them. But again, they're playing passive. I don't know if he's necessarily going to push an aggressive fight right now. He might just maintain... Yeah, he's probably just going to maintain high ground. Get a kill if he can, but dropping the fight is really not smart here. I will point out, this is the second team in this Cash Cup. I've only done 2 VOD reviews. Both of them have won games. Both of them have maintained high ground in moving. Keep this in mind. If you're playing tournaments or if you're playing arena with stacked late games, scrims, whatever, high ground is huge. It has been for a long time, so, you know, don't be late to the party. Try to keep high ground. If you can't, play for your life low ground. But maintaining high ground is huge in these games because people below are so focused on getting to zone and not getting killed from high ground, mid ground, low ground. High ground really only has to worry about you know, trying to get elims, but maintaining high ground. No one's really taking the time to look up and try to shoot out high ground because most of the time you're connected. So you have a huge advantage by being on high ground. And like I said, it's been that way for a long, long time in this game. It's been meta for as long as I can remember. Because now you get to just sit up and burn through the low ground players' mats. Burn through their materials by shooting their roof, and then they get pushed by other teams, and you can just kind of... That was an ego play. Dancing on the edge, man, you got punished. That was not smart. Yeah, just keep spamming so that they burn materials and they get pushed by other teams. It's the name of the game. And then drop when you really need to. He's running out of SMG ammo. He's maintaining high ground, but he's smart because they're so high up that it was actually, you know, it could have been a problem if they did end up getting shot out. So by him kind of ramping down, they're maintaining high ground, but they're closing the gap on mid to low ground, because as the lobby thins out now, there's only 16 people. They don't need to maintain like at a ridiculous high ground level. They can kind of start like scaling down towards low ground to kind of clean up some kills, maybe get map refreshes, you know, kind of close this game out. They're playing this really well because they're split a little bit, but they're playing together at the same time. Like, they were just on separate levels shooting at different people, but they're applying pressure to different teams. Ooh, huge. Huge Elam there. Yeah, they're playing together but split, which is smart. Wow, that was a huge hit. Nice job. Really well played. that was really well played. Like I said, they were maintaining high ground, keeping pressure on low ground, and then started scaling down as the lobby thinned so they could clean up some kills, close out the game, get a big win, 11 kills for first place in the Duo Cash Cup. Really good job. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you watched all the way through, I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you again shortly with another VOD review. Peace.